You're tired. I get it. You sure don't have any more time or energy to give to job hunting. So to do a cover letter, please. What if I told you that you were missing out on some prime real estate and the opportunity to majorly stand out in this race to get a job? Would you do it then? In this video, I'm going to share with you all of my tips and tricks to create your own template for a cover letter. You are missing out on prime real estate by not submitting a cover letter. While the recruiters of like Google and Meta may not read your cover letter, small to medium-sized businesses, as well as the hiring manager, would actually take the time out to read that cover letter. Managers, leaders, we are all looking for people who will go that extra mile when they need it. That is going to be that person that really wants to, put their best foot forward. And the cover letter, I'm supplying one when no one else ever does, really does do that. In my opinion, no, friend. It is not a 1990s situation. While I do believe an objective is on your resume, you need your cover letter. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time you create a cover letter either. You can create a template and just populate in some information that are specific to that job role in order to get it done a little bit faster, but also still have that level of personalization, just like your resume. Your resume is a template and then you personalize it based on the job that you want. So why wouldn't you do that with a cover letter? And look, you're probably hearing from a lot of people that they don't read cover letters, but I want you to actually stop and think about who is not reading that cover letter. Is it the recruiter at the agency who was contracted to find you? A recruiter who is just looking to hit their numbers? Is it the internal recruiter who is also just trying to hit numbers and quickly fill the role to get onto that next one for the organization? Is it the HR manager that's a department of one who is trying to fill spots for the entire organization, plus do all of the other paperwork and all of the other things in HR? Then yeah, you're right, they're not reading them. They also don't have to work with you day in and day out. Like, okay, maybe the HR manager does have to kind of deal with you a little bit. In all actuality, the external recruiter or even the internal recruiter, yeah, they're not reading it. They don't have to work with you. They're just trying to fill in the spot. It's no skin off of their back if you're not matched properly with your hiring manager. If you guys don't get along or you don't vibe with the organization or you don't vibe with, your team, doesn't matter to them. They still got that, $50 bonus or whatever for hiring that spot. Take advice with a grain of salt. When you get advice, and this is something general for anything and everyone, take the advice with a grain of salt and think about who is providing that advice to you, and could there be something else that is a factor in that advice? Cover letter? Yep, the recruiter's not going to review it, but it's going to mean a lot to the manager that has to hire you. Now that you're done taking your advice from Joe Schmo Recruiter and you're going to take advice from Vanessa Alzate from Vanessa Anchored, let's talk about how to create that template. But first, I want you to give this video a thumbs up if you are like me and you are now team cover letter. I want to know how many of you are going to start sending out cover letters with your resumes. And friend, just to be clear, so we all get to know each other a little bit better, I am also team thank you note. I am team going the extra mile if I really want to have this job and really want to get in front of you again. I am team in my proposal, there is always a customized, note in the beginning. I am team always go above and beyond and give that extra level of service to get that job. Because here's the other thing. If you go that level above and beyond, you can start to command more dollars. And everyone loves more dollars because creating wealth leads to so many more amazing things, like creating the life that you want and the life that you want for your family. With a cover letter, I've seen cover letters that have been submitted that haven't really given me a lot of personality or a lot of more about who you were. It seems very formal and templated. Dear hiring manager, I'm applying to your job of the learning experience designer. It interested me because of this. Thank you so much for applying for the job. I think that I am a team player and an action-oriented or solution-oriented, person who would do really well at your organization. That might all be true, but why do you believe that? Where is the story behind it, right? Here is my template, my structure, my framework for your cover letter. You need a hook, you need your content, and then you need your call to action, just like in social media and TikTok videos. Hook, content, call to action. Let's start with your hook. Start with some energy and start with pizzazz, but something that feels authentic to you. So when you write your cover letter, write it with your voice. I want to hear you jump off of the pages. Start with a story about you and your why, or maybe a when. So for example, my cover letter starts with, hey, if you're learning for an instructional designer that's looking to keep her learners engaged, then you found her. Heck, I've even been told that the training was so awful they wanted to drive into oncoming traffic, but then when they actually heard me, train it, they wanted to go the opposite way. Truly. That was literally feedback in a survey about my training. So that is a story. That is something memorable, right? That is not a lie. And that is something that is going to stand out. That is going to hook you. I'm going to want to know more about the trainer that can keep someone from wanting to drive into oncoming traffic. The next part is you're going to want to put in your content. So why, what is your why? Why this job? Why this, industry? Why this company? What piqued your interest about the job? And then what about your past experiences complement the job, right? That what about your past experiences are going to support you in this role and is going to, make your onboarding, cut time, time cut in half. That's going to be something that's transferable to this organization and this job. Or maybe it's the fact that you really love what the organization is doing and you want to be part of an organization that values X, Y, and Z because you value X, Y, and Z. And then finally, you have your call to action. So maybe your call to action is check out my portfolio, or to learn a little bit more about me, here's my website, or here's some more information. Here's a link to my YouTube channel, or please reach out so we can schedule some more time to get to know each other. I would love to learn more about you. And here's a little extra tip. When you do the call to action to check out my portfolio, give them specifically a portfolio piece to link back to. Say, based on what I'm seeing in your job description, I think that this portfolio piece is the best one for you. This would be my recommendation. It seems most closely aligned to what it is that you're looking for. That means you really thought about the job and you went through your portfolio and said, this is the one that they need to see because it's going to save them time. You actually just saved me from making a decision in terms of selecting which portfolio piece, and it works out better for you because it's actually aligned with the job. So friends, cover letters can simply be that simple. A hook, content, call to action. This is where with the content, you really want to make sure you're tying that, and having some sort of journal, something that you're reflecting back on past stories. We have so many things on our brain that it's really hard to remember all the stories. Take the time to journal. Take the time to print out the thank yous. Take the time to print out the kudos, to jog your memory when you are doing things like creating cover letters. Often we don't want to do that because we don't want to take that extra time to stop and to really think. But if you have a journal, if you have a folder like happy memories and things like that, you can really jog your memory very quickly and then start to create these cover letters that are a lot faster to create. And it really honestly takes no time. And look, if your recruiter isn't going to pass it along, I still will, submit it. I will sometimes email the hiring manager and I would say, hey, I'm not sure if you're going to, see this, if you see it in your applicant tracking system. So I wanted to make sure that you saw my cover letter so you saw, more about the job. Or I would ask the recruiter to pass it over to the hiring manager. I also would have a copy of it with me. So that way, in case they didn't get it, and I would ask like, hey, did you have a chance to check out my cover letter? No, I didn't. I happen to have a copy for you. Here you go. It's like when you buy a house, right? You don't have to write a letter as to why you want to buy that house, but realtors will tell you that sometimes that is that extra thing to like help someone, convince them to let you purchase their home. It happened with us. We had people that, we knew they sent us letters, and we had people that could have paid higher, and we chose, the person that we thought was going to take care of the house the best. Those cover letters just helps to give that extra personalization and helps to really bump you up in that person's mind and stay a little bit fresh. And look, even if the job doesn't work out, it can work out on the next one. So if you want to learn more about why you're not getting hired, I want you to check out this next video where we go really in depth into why you're not getting the callbacks and what possibly could be happening on the back end, or in the private life of the hiring manager that could affect you getting that call. Friends, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.